Hey there guys, welcome to another video. Since the last video, remember how I said I need to focus on my life and priorities? Well, with me, that really doesn't happen. So once I'm focused on something, my mind is glued to that. So the car has been on my mind since, this whole time. So I've been working on it. I have the front end all off and everything. So the engine's ready to come out. The plan is the engine and transmission will be pulled out as a whole, and I'll be pulling them out from the front. Simple enough. Tons of room to do that. So yeah, everything's all disconnected. Everything's all capped off to avoid anything from getting in there, going out, Even the little oil feeds capped. Stuff like that. So I've also been working on my new engine, which I've picked up last Sunday. I didn't pick it up. I got it delivered to me last Sunday from a good friend. So let's go talk about that. It's in here in the basement. Oh, this one light. Hold on a freaking second. Come on, you buggo. Yeah. All right. So here it is. It is a 1997 M52B28 iron block. I have an E46 vert. Only had 112,000 miles on it. You're probably thinking, wow, that's fairly low for 97. Oh yeah, I was super excited. But it turns out the engine's been sitting for a long freaking time, so there's lots of corrosion inside the block and all the components. That's why I got it as a whole engine. It's stripped down to the bare block right now because of the corrosion. I could not let it go. The original plan was just to pull the cylinder head off, replace the head gasket, and throw in some ARP 2000 head studs, and send it right on over to the car and make it work with the E46 chassis. But no, as you'll see here in a second, they're especially inside the block. There's lots of carbon deposits, lots of corrosion. So the block's going to be getting hot tanked and everything. So it turned into a quick conversion for E46 chassis. Is turning into a full engine rebuild, guys. So we're going to be doing forged pistons, forged rods, the works, all new main bearings, all new rod bearings, obviously, timing chains, timing tensioners, all the gaskets. Pretty much I'm redoing the whole engine, and the plan is to overbuild it so it's ready for the future big boost. So the cylinder head was also damaged, which I didn't get a very good deal out of this, obviously because of the engine, the condition, but it's a risky take when you buy a used engine, guys. So just keep in mind, if it's an older car with lower miles, the odds are it could have sat for a while, and this is what may be the outcome. So right here is a chunk of material missing from the cylinder head. It doesn't look that deep on camera, but I assure you, it is deep. I'm sure a machine shop could have welded it and, decked it and everything, but that would just probably been quite a bit of money. So I already have a new head coming. I got it for a good deal. It's coming from Virginia, so it should be here within a couple days. So as far as corrosion inside the engine goes, not only the block, but there's lots of how aluminum gets this weird oxidization on it. So there's some of that, and there was also cylinder 2 was very clean, and as you see, and that was why, because the head was leaking. So it was driven like that. So there's material missing out of the head for a while. The valves are still pretty clean, as you can see in there. So, that's a plus, I guess. Pretty clean valves. But yeah, the camshafts and everything just has like this surface corrosion on it. So here's the main bearing caps. As you can see, this one's been cleaned. You can see the surface rust on it. So they'll be getting scrubbed up and everything. All the cam trays, they are disgusting. Just like this weird sludgy stuff. All the lifters, most of them are freaking seized. So I want to get all new lifters or use the ones out of my other car and put them in because they are very quiet, no complaints. Vanos needs rebuild, which is no big deal. But at least the thing is, we have an awesome platform right here. We got an iron block, got a forged 2.8 crank, and also from the factory, these 2.8s have forged rods. They're good for about 500. The pistons, people reuse them a lot in their builds, but I'll be getting forged pistons. Okay, so here is one of the camshafts. It looks like it's just oil stained, right? But I assure you, this is all corrosion because I just cleaned. That one's wrapped up. It came out superb. I'll put a picture of it right here so you can see the before and after. So I got it super clean, and I just have it wrapped up with oil so it doesn't corrode on me, flash rust. Then in here are all the camshaft caps, you know, the caps that hold it down into the tray. This is how they look too. Here's a before and after picture of me cleaning them. Turned out freaking mint. So lots of scrubbing and cleaning, and we're getting things cleaned up. These are going to be a challenge to get these trays all clean, because I have to get all these oil galleries super cleaned out. Thankfully, the crank's in great shape. There's no crazy scoring or anything. Looks like it's in very good shape. All the main bearings, there's no crazy scoring on them. So we lucked out with all the, especially with all the debris in there. It could have easily gotten in between the mating surfaces of the crank and the bearings. That would have been very ugly. And then also the valve cover is broken. No big deal. Be getting a new one, you know. So yeah, I wasn't expecting all this extra work, but it's gonna be getting legit built now. So I'll be balancing all the new connecting rods. I'll be gapping my own pistons and everything. I mean the rings. I'll be adjusting my ring gap by myself and all that. I'm very excited. I'm also going to pull the car out once the engine's out and clean the engine bay, pressure wash it, get all the crud, and repaint it. I'm sorry I didn't record the teardown, but there's so many teardown videos on YouTube of these engines. A lot of people build these things. What I think you guys want to see is me making an E36 engine, single vanos, working in the E46 chassis. So I'll be retaining the stock engine harness, and I'll be tuning off the stock MS42 DME. And at first I thought there'd be a lot more to it, but it's actually pretty straightforward, because all these M50X series engines are like Legos. You can combine parts. So for instance, I'll be using the E46 oil filter housing on this E36 block. I'll be using my oil pan, oil dipstick tube. I'll be using my thermostat. The water pumps are the same. It's pretty cool how you can just slap parts in one another and make them work and everything. A lot of people were actually talking crap about me doing this swap. They're saying, oh, why didn't you do a B30 swap, M54 B30? I was like, well, there's a couple reasons, actually. You want to hear them? So, one is cost. They're pretty expensive around me. Like, people were asking like $500 for it. I'm like, I'm not fucking paying that for a goddamn M54. And also, the harmonics. Anything above 7,400 RPM, I believe it is. They're like a ticking time bomb. They have bad harmonic issues. And also, I'm just comparing stock to stock, not built. So the 2.8 liter crank has a lot better harmonics. It can spin up to 8K with the appropriate balancing of the rods and everything. There's no oil consumption issues like the M54 because of the weak oil control rings. Like, once again, this is basing stock to stock. I mean, the engine itself is a great platform, but so M52 was so far, for me, the master race. And also, we have an iron block now. A good example of the M54 is our good friend Mike Dodge, who has a 700 horsepower 330 Ci track car. He actually just also bought an iron block, same block as me, the 2.8 block. Because after every track event, he has to replace a head gasket because the head lifts. And he's a man of commitment. He does not give up. He's tried multiple head stud arrangements, different sizes, different head gaskets. He's messed with the harmonics. It does not matter. After every track event, he has to replace a head gasket. So he finally went to an iron block. Now, for you guys who want just a street car, the M54 B30, great platform. Just don't be revving it crazy high. Yeah, just the harmonics will get you. So yeah, that's the reason why I chose this engine over M54 B30. A lot of people aren't really happy about that, but I was like, you know what? I have better harmonics. I have an iron block. There's a few downfalls to an iron block. For instance, they're heavier, obviously. Less heat dissipation. And there's a third one I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I know corrosion's one of them as well. But come on, guys, iron block is the way to go if you want real power in it to stay together. I mean, it depends on your tune and everything else and all that, obviously, but I just have always felt better about an iron block. Ever since I seen the Alpina, what is it, B3S, I think it is, I was looking at the engine bay, I was like, that's crazy, they put an E36 engine in that car. So that's always been in the back of my mind, like how they do it and everything. Then my tuner Vlad, who we're talking about it, he's saying, yeah, the car has a modified S54 crank, M52B28 block like this, has crazy cams, and it's stroked, and it makes it I think he said a 3.4 liter. So ever since then, I've been intrigued. I'm like, an iron block engine in the E46 is like awesome. So, and then he said, and then before my engine went, my current one, he's like, you know what you should do? I was like, what? I was like, I think we should take an E36 engine, the M52B28, and put it in your car. Like, he was sort of begging me to do it. I was like, maybe in the future. And then the fucking future's now because my engine took a shit. So the future's here. Like, we have the engine we both wanted right here sitting. We're going to make a great build out of it. So right now I'm just doing free things, cleaning stuff and everything, because I'm honestly, the bank is kind of hurting right now. So I'm looking to get actually a second job just to fund this build. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't film the teardown because there's so many videos of that already. I'm more interested in showing you guys how to make this generation series engine work with stock harness and everything in the E46. No idea how long it's going to take me. No idea. Probably, I'm guessing at least 3/4 of a year, because whenever you do a build like this, it takes time. So yeah, legit full-on engine rebuild. We're going to get it done. If you want my honest opinion, that engine is going to be capable of 700 horsepower plus. If everything turns, if I use all the parts I want to use, like Eagle rods, Westco pistons, and everything else, I'm going to O-ring the block like I said. It's going to be a very, very capable engine. So just stay tuned for updates on it. It's probably going to be able to see 450, maybe 500 at the max in this engine bay right now, because my the stock fuel lines, only a Walbro 255 fuel pump. So in order to get super high horsepower in the future, I'll have to upgrade the fuel system. Obviously, run bigger lines. Well, probably just one size bigger. Probably gonna run a 450 fuel pump or bigger. Probably even do a double pumper system and all that. You know, I'm gonna upgrade the ignition, probably to LSQ coils and all that stuff. There's a lot of things to do if you want to achieve some serious horsepower. So I'll be happy at 450, and since the engine will be overbuilt, it should be a cakewalk for it. It should be a how should I say it? It should be laying dormant until it sees some super high boosts. At first, I was just going to reuse the stock pistons and throw in some forged rods. I was like, I can't do that. I'm going to get forged everything, so it's already done with. And I almost had to buy new camshafts, because I was like, dude, these things are so rusted. But no, thankfully I brought those back to life and everything. So, sorry about such a long rambling here and everything. But I'll just kind of, give you guys information of what I've been doing. It's been pretty stressful on my part, because it sucks not being able, because I want to buy things now. Like, I want stuff done now. I've always been that way. So I'm very impatient. When it comes to building things, I'm patient. When it comes to acquiring the parts and money I need, I get very worked up easy, and like, I just want things now. But just gotta relax sometimes. Thankfully, the new cylinder head's coming. So, all right, I'll call the video off here. I'll quit rambling. I'll let you guys get back to your day or night and whatever. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.